Ladies and gentlemen, please be aware that foul language is prevalent within the following production. Have a nice day.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Offended Podcast. This is Kyle, joined by my friend Tom Waits.
How's everybody doing out there? My name's Tom Waits. Sitting next to me at my left is the one and only
Hi everybody. Whoa, Aquaman. Oh man, so I don't know the other two, but I've been drinking, so that's why I'm a little bit nutty already. So
You started it. We just followed you.
We're just naturally nuts, so we blend well with drunk people.
yeah, what's even better is that Evan's not faking that voice. That's actually he's that hoarse. Like he's been practicing his Tom Waits so much.
My dick is so large that it gives me a hoarse voice.
Now don't you go blaming that shit on me.
I know it's terrible to say, but I listened to my own fucking show twice last week just to listen to that goddamn dick voice. It's so fucking funny.
Oh man.
Oh, shit.
Oh, so Evan, why the hell do you sound like that?
Because most people who have a functioning brain would schedule band practice for a day when they don't have to do something where they're going to be talking a lot. Well, not me. I decide to scream for 3 hours straight and then immediately get in front of a microphone to talk so people will listen to me. Well, maybe it makes me sound better than normal because it's like, people always want to have that voice. They want to be able to talk like this.
You just sound like you have a pack-a-day habits what it sounds like.
Is that like an elephant or something, a pack-a-day? No, that's pachyderm. Pachyderm happened.
Are you sure it wasn't all those hot wings you've been eating?
It could be, man. It really could be. I've been eating hot wings for the past 2 days, and today I ate some that were called Fireball from a local eatery called Wild Wing Cafe. They have a 6 rating for different hot wings, and the hottest one is supposed to be ridiculous. It's called Braveheart. I'm not even going to fucking smell that hot wing. But I ate the one that was one underneath it called Fireball, and it's like I was telling my friends earlier. I'm going to tell you guys right now. When you put the boneless wing on your tongue for 2 fucking seconds, you enjoy the most delicious, cinnamony, sweet, awesome hot wing flavor. And then needles shoot out of the fucking hot wing and stab every part of your mouth, face, nose, throat, goddamn everything. But within a minute and a half, the burn is gone. So you're like, man, that was a lot of work for that fucking delicious 2 seconds. That means I'm going to do it again because I'm an idiot. So I went through 6 of those things. And man, let me just say this. It's a real journey. It is a journey eating hot wings for 2 days in a row. So tread lightly. Perhaps you would enjoy a mild or a medium. Not me. I went for the 5 out of 6 scale. I just gave myself a Scoville Slaughterfest.
I was going to ask if they actually give like the Scoville rating of those.
Well, Ghost Chili Peppers are like, I don't even know. Just go to Wild Wing if you're in the Middle Georgia area. Whenever you're visiting, go and try the Fireball wings.
Do you know how the Scoville scale actually works? Like what it's based on?
The more numbers, the more it fucking hurts.
Pretty much. But basically the way it works is you eat something hot and they have this solution of like water and sugar and they spray it into your mouth once, and if it's still hot, you spray again and you keep spraying. And for every spray you do, until you keep doing it until it stops hurting and you count. And that's basically the Scoville rating, and it's times like 10 or 100. I don't remember the number. So like some chilies, like habaneros have ratings of 200,000. The ghost pepper's way higher than that, I know. So that means I think somebody had to spray something in their mouth 2,000 times until it stopped hurting.
Awesome. The thing that I ate today was hotter than habanero.
No, I can't eat that stuff. I don't want it to burn going in and coming out.
Yeah, exactly. Let me say this. One of my favorite things to watch on the internet on YouTube is this couple that got married. They're called Pranksters in Love, Nikki and John.
Oh, God.
And Nikki is fucking beautiful. God, she's so fucking beautiful. But that's not the point.
Are they like the Jersey people? Are they the Jersey
No.
couple?
No,
Okay.
these are like, they're from Wisconsin. They talk like this. Why
They're the
did you
Jersey
do that?
couple, too.
Yeah, they're real funny. I've seen them as well. But Nikki and John are my favorites because, like,
How did you do that? I'm a girl.
yeah. Just look up Nikki and John on YouTube and have yourself a fucking day. Man, it's so great. But the point is, they, on the regular, will order ghost chili peppers, Nagarjunas, I believe is what they're called.
Yeah.
And those are like some of the hottest peppers there are, if not the hottest. And they take the flakes and they sneak it into the other person's food. Like, John ordered a large pizza and lifted the cheese up, sprinkled the pepper underneath all the cheese, and was like, Nikki, I bought us pizza for dinner. And she comes down and she eats it. And she's just like, oh my God. And she's fucking crying and like spit's flying out of her mouth. And it's so funny. And she made him some cupcakes with fucking chili peppers in it, but you couldn't see it because there's these cute little baby cupcakes. It's so fucking funny, man.
Yeah, I mean, I just, for anything hot like that, I just can't handle it. And I couldn't imagine another, like, being in a relationship where, you know, the other person's constantly fucking with you or might be fucking with you. Because haven't they done stuff, too, that, like, didn't she do something where his hair fell out? I remember.
She fucking super glued his hat to his head.
That's not as bad as the Nair, because the super
Yeah.
glue was just like, oh fuck, now I have to cut my hair up. Okay, that's one thing.
No,
But
you
when
should
she
put Nair in shampoo.
When she put the Nair in the shampoo, he's like, oh, my head's burning. So it's like painful on top of it.
And he had this big ass bald spot. It's so funny.
Yeah, because I remember, if I remember correctly, his hair had just really grown back in, and she was like, he spent so much time on it, it's time to ruin it. I was just like, God.
But damn if she isn't fucking beautiful. I mean, it's like, you could have a normal looking woman who plays pranks on you, or you could have one of the fucking most beautiful women of internet celebrity history.
And here we go again. And we
Evan
know
Jones.
what the cause of this problem is, Evan Jones. Don't we?
What is it?
Look at this bitch she done put chili pepper in our thing. We're gonna dump this bitch. Oh no, we ain't. Look at that ass. We gonna keep right on going. Give her some more of them cupcakes. That's what it was.
I'm going to have to agree with my dick on this one. Because he knows what's best. A beautiful woman giving me cupcakes regardless is better than no woman not giving me cupcakes. Because I fucking like spicy food, so I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the chili peppers.
That's what the hot wings are for. You're training yourself in case you
Exactly.
have to deal with this.
Exactly.
Always thinking ahead.
But no, the reason that my voice is this hoarse is because I've been yelling. I don't think it has anything to do with the hot wings.
So, like, usually after, the next day, was your voice going to be okay?
Yeah, it usually only lasts for a couple hours after practice.
Oh, and you just got out of practice.
Yeah, that's why it sounds this bad.
You know, perhaps we should plan to actually record before you go to practice.
I don't know if that's going to be possible. I think our listeners are just going to have to get used to my hoarse voice.
No, sir, I don't like it.
Ren and Stimpy. Applause.
Nice. So, we don't really have anything, like, in particular we wanted to talk about this week. I think we're just kind of do a shoot the shit episode, as we've already been doing for about 9 minutes.
Yeah.
A little late to tell everybody.
Yeah.
By the way,
By the way, guys, don't get prepared for anything in particular this week. We're just gonna fuck around.
I know you thought the last 9 minutes and 59 seconds were planning to get somewhere, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
That's fair. We should start some kind of business like that. Like, we just have everybody come into the room and then we just close the door. It's like, this is what you're all here for. We didn't tell you.
Yeah.
It's going to be a puppet show. It's nothing bad. We just didn't tell you ahead of time.
See, I can already you can, if you didn't know better, you could already tell that Shane's never worked in like big business, because that's pretty much what every meeting is.
Yeah, really.
It's like, we got a meeting at 5. What is the meeting for? I don't know. I just got a pop up in my email saying there's a meeting. I gotta go. Well,
No.
you
It's
sure
not
it's
the
for you?
meeting. It's not the meeting. It's the actual business. People
Oh.
come into your place. You close the doors, and then you just do whatever it's going to be because they don't know. It's like it was a puppet show last time. I want to see a puppet show. Nope, not this time. It's ballet. What the fuck? Is this entertainment? No, because the next time it's a restaurant.
We're here to make sure that you never know what the fuck's going on. Last week we made jelly. We didn't tell anybody shit. They just showed up and started crushing fruit.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull back the curtains on this. Usually our preparation for the show is right before we start recording. It's like, what do we want to talk about this week? Well, here's this fucked up story I saw. Let's talk about that. Okay, should we read it? Let's read about the first 2 sentences and just fucking wing the rest of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like
We
back
were
in the
probably-
day, we used to be so serious. We'd be like sending links all week long. It's like, does this seem persistent enough? Is this something that's going to really capture them? Yes,
I'm gonna
yes.
go ahead and prepare
You
the
two
Google
might
Doc.
have.
Yeah, Shane just fucking sat off in the middle of nowhere.
No man's land. Shane
No man's
actually
land.
lives in a hyperbolic chamber. We only bring him out on Sundays.
That's right. Vegeta doesn't have shit on him.
Or Michael Jackson. He's the other one I always think of.
Man. God.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Now, if it was like a fucking super cool rap dude, would it be a hyperballer chamber?
Hyperbolic chamber.
If it was a porno star, would it be a hyperbolic chamber?
Oh god.
Damn.
These are getting worse.
Yes.
So, actually, speaking of a hyperbolic chamber, reminds me of this movie clip I saw this week. When during World War II and the whole time period when Japan had like entered into China, like first off, like somehow at some point Japan had like conquered a large part of China, which I'm like, how the fuck does this little island country like rock this fucking giant one? But anyways,
I always wondered that too.
yeah.
I think maybe it'd be because it's such a big space that they probably invaded like 400 different little villages.
Yeah.
And when an armed army comes into your rural village where you have farming implements, you lose.
It's probably
Good
exactly what
point.
because that's kind of what this movie's about. But it was like how during that time when they were in Manchuria, they had taken this tribe of people, and they were like, they're not humans, so it's okay what we do with them. And they were basically testing things on them, like the Nazis had done to the Jews. And one of the things they did was they would put people in hyperbolic chambers and see what happened to them.
Oh.
And basically what happens to you is your intestines come out of your anus. Like, they just expand out because everything's being, like, sucked out or something. Like, the pressure changes. And it's a movie that was made about this. It was a Japanese movie. And they were talked about all the things they would do to this tribe of people. Things like they would stick their hands in, like, freezing water, and they just keep putting freezing water on it over and over and over and over and over again until their hands are just covered in ice out in these like Arctic temperatures. And then after they had got the ice off their hands, they take them inside and then dump their hands in hot water, and they pull them up. The skin would just pour off. It just like basically it was described as like pulling like pork off of like a bone after it's been like cooking all day.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And there's a whole movie about this, and I was bored, so I watched about, an hour of this, like, hour and a half long movie.
That actually sounds worse than what Nazis would. Didn't they actually do, like, medical experiments?
Well, these were medical experiments, too, as far as they were concerned, but the Nazis did
But
shit.
what is it going to do? I mean, what does it tell you? Everybody knows your hands getting too cold or bad.
But they were testing what would happen, like, in how much cold can somebody take? What would happen if this happened and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm not saying that they were, like, good experiments. It's
They had
kind of
very
like
bad
as a kid, what
scientists
happens
there.
when I pull this, bird's wing off? It dies. Oh, shit, I didn't know that was going to happen. But
How the fuck can these people do this shit? It's like, hey, if you need something to kill some time, why don't you take whatever hand you're more comfortable using and apply it to your genitals? Because nobody gets killed when you're masturbating.
Hey,
you fucking idiots.
Hey. There was already a battlefield there. You want them to leave wounded soldiers on the battlefield?
We're not talking about Mormons. We're talking about morons. You can't go around and fucking kill people because you're bored. Come on, Japan. What the fuck, dude?
We don't do it anymore.
I know. I went over there. They never did that shit to me.
Well, you know, that's one of the things, too, they talk about is, like, there's a group of people over there who want to get rid of their peacetime constitution or whatever they call it. Their peacetime, basically, documents. And they want to actually change it to where they can have an army again. To have a standing army. And then, like, there's a lot of people like Hayao Miyazaki, the guy who does all the Studio Ghibli movies, is like, no, we don't need that because we've seen what happens when we have an army. It's no good.
Yeah.
He's like, we're bad
pretty
people.
much what all of his fucking movies are about.
Yeah, literally. Like, in fact, his last movie was exactly about that. It was about the guy who created the kamikaze pilot planes.
Last Wind or something like that?
The Wind Also Rises.
Wind Also Rises, yeah.
Yeah. I think he was nominated for some... I think he was nominated for Golden Globe. He didn't win, but he's also been nominated for an Oscar for it. For, like, best, I think, foreign film. He's won at least one award from one of these billions of fucking award shows for things that nobody knows or cares about.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, like, there's a group of people who are adamantly against it because they're like, it's not going to be anything good to come from it.
Of course, it's not going to be a good thing because nobody's directly fucking with them, so they don't need an army, and they don't have any reason to go fuck with. That's the only reason you want one. Like, you know what?
Because they have a defense force.
I know what it is. They like America a little too much over there. they're like, oh, Oni-chan, can I have an army too? You're so cool, Oni-chan. I want to be like you, big brother. Let's go kill people together.
Yeah.
I think the big argument is because of, like, rising tensions with China and North Korea. But I don't know. I mean, what is an army going to do if, you know, those guys freak out and launch nukes at you? It's probably going to be too late to even bother with a fucking army.
Hey, let's cut through the bullshit, all right?
Okay.
Fuck all this conversation. Nobody's going to mess with Japan because we all know there are mechs there already.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, that one that they act like is just a statue standing in
Oh,
that
fuck
park.
yeah, dude.
It's real.
It's a gunman.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. All those little things is like, why do they have these huge, like, bullshit cartoons? No, that's part of their defense.
Exactly.
It's going to catch a nuke.
Well, there was an actual company making mechs over there.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
And, like, at first when I saw it, I thought it was a joke, but, like, no, this is fucking legit. I mean, they're, like,
Yes.
actually making mechs. You know, I think, like, you can buy the mech itself with no weapons, but then, like, weapons are, of course, extra. So, I mean, why would you buy one without weapons?
It's got, like, a fucking...
Like buying a car without wheels.
I forget what it shot, but something that, like, normally would not be dangerous. Like, I might shoot a little plastic BBs. Not all that dangerous, except, like, it was a Gatling, and it showed that thing firing. That would kill you, even with the plastic fucking balls in it. I'm like,
Well,
what
I
the fuck's wrong?
They're not trying to market it to a military. They're trying to market it to police forces. So, like, to, like, dispel riots and
How
shit.
many riots do they have in Japan?
Dude, it has magic, fucking Final Fantasy, Dispel.
Fuck that, I'm just going to cast a bolt on this motherfucker. Take
It's
them out.
Vix and Wedge or whatever.
Yes.
Oh, man.
That's so funny. It's like, here, we know you want to buy this mech, but the weapons are extra. It's like when you go to one of them snuggle cafes. It's like, you can lay down with the girl, but if you want her to pet your hair, that's extra.
Or
And I
like
will
these,
pay for her to pet my hair, goddammit.
Or like these free-to-play games they have where it's like you're going to play the game, and it's like once you get into it, it's like, well, now that you've been playing it, it's going to take you 2 hours for your guy to move one square, but you can spend $10 and he'll move that one square right now.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Like that shit EA's got going with the Dungeon Keeper game they released. I was telling you guys about it beforehand, where it's like, as you mine through this cave. So, like, for people who don't know, Dungeon Keeper is this old game where basically you play like this evil warlord, and you build dungeons with your little minions, and then people come in and attack you, and you basically defend them off and stuff like that. It was really fun back in the day, but EA, of course, bought it up just to fuck it up. And so they released it as a free-to-play game on, like, iOS and Android, but it's not really free-to-play because everything takes 24 hours to do. So, like, I'm going to mine through this one block 24 hours, unless you spend money, and then it's free. Or it's cheaper.
You know...
Or quicker, I'm sorry, that's what I'm looking for.
It just hit me that all these video game companies sound like old villains from old, like, cartoons and shit like that. That they do this shit that's like... It's like, who does shit like that? It seems like over the top. You know, it's one thing, it's like, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these shoes, and I'm going to charge a lot for them. but I'm going to have these people in some country that nobody knows about making them for like 1 cent. And it's like, that's the kind of things like people don't find out about it unless someone catches you doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
But these are stuff, you can't miss it. Just think about this. Imagine like it's 1940s. It's like someone's twisting a little mustache. It's like, oh yes, come into my shop. Come on in. Oh, would you like a free sample? Here you go. Here's a free sample. Why don't you try this? It's some new cookies. It's like, oh wait. Chewing costs $10.
Yeah, like.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
You sitting there twirling their mustache like, I'll tell you what we'll do. See, we'll buy Sim City, and then we'll make it. We'll tell everybody it's only playable online, but we'll lie. You can play it offline, but they'll never know. That way we'll get all their information, and we'll know everything we need to know about them. And then 6 months later, when everyone's so pissed, we'll release it as a single-player game.
Cobra! And everything he said went through one ear and out the other. Because all I could do was stare at that dame that was standing behind him. That broad had eyes like the ocean.
Dude, might I just add, oh, how the mighty have fallen. Because back in the day, like Genesis, Sega Genesis, EA was on fucking top. They had Road Rash, they had Skitchin, Mutant League Football, Mutant League Hockey, and now they're just like fucking douchebags. What happened?
Who knows?
Was there I want to see a timeline of douchebaggery from the Genesis era to current next-gen systems. That would be a great article. How EA became DICK.
Maybe it got too big and just became the EA Corporation. And once it became the EA Corporation, it was all over.
Yeah, that's what happens with a lot of that stuff. Is like the moment you go from being like some small company where your only concern is making a good product because you want to move up to we're now a corporation and we have shareholders who their concern is how are we going to profit. You have to make a change from the way your business works. So you no longer can be risky, because being risky means you might not make money. But you know what is going to make money every year? Battlefield, Madden. I can make that every year, and those suckers out there are going to buy it every year, and the only difference is going to be roster updates. And they know that, and that's why they do it. Because the shareholders say that's going to make money. Fucking do it. I don't care. But what about this idea? No. And then when they do buy companies, they buy them just to run them in the ground so they don't have competition.
Oh, man.
I thought Battlefield Earth was like one of the biggest flops of all time.
Battlefield 4. Oh. It's a first-person
Not the
shooter.
John Travolta Scientology movie. My bad.
Okay.
No.
My bad.
So, talking about Scientology, did you see that Scientology had a commercial during the Super Bowl?
No, I didn't watch the Super Bowl.
Well, I didn't
Who won,
either.
the
but I saw
Denver
it after.
Seahawks or the Seattle Broncos? Who was it?
And all of a sudden, riots hit the street. We need some of those mechs.
Yes. But did we pay extra for the fucking weapons? That's what I got.
No, we're just going to run people over.
I want to get one of those urban legend guns where it's like it emits a fucking frequency that makes people shit their pants. It's called it the brown note. I want to get a mech with a brown note laser. So like you get some angry guy, I'm going to kill everybody. I'm going to...
And you get on it turns out you were just full of shit.
Yes.
That's what you do.
You hear that out there, 10 people? You hear that out there? You get on the fucking brown note mechs for us.
So you just put your glasses on after you say it, your sunglasses. Looks like you're full of shit.
You're doing a real crappy job of protesting. Oh, man.
Scientology has a commercial.
They had
What
a
was
commercial. Well, when you first watch it, you don't know it's Scientology because it's talking about like science stuff, and then it talks about how bringing science and religion together. And if you don't know any better, you're like, wow, that's legit. You know, bring the two together. They can work together. Blah 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 blah. But then at the end, it's like Scientology, and you're like, oh no. And I read reviews of it, and people were like, I saw a similar commercial when I was younger, and to me, Scientology sounded like a great idea until they started talking about people with superpowers and spaceships and aliens, and that's when I just lost it. Because that's what they don't tell you in the commercial. They don't tell you that they're waiting for Xenu to come back so they can all get planets and shit.
Maybe they just need to try marketing specifically in Utah. Because it's almost the same beliefs as the Mormons.
It is. Or maybe they should just market it like Star Trek and Star Wars conventions.
Dude, it might work. You got some fucking crazy attention seekers at those motherfuckers.
Yeah. But there was like, there were a bunch of different commercials that were talked about from the Super Bowl. Like there was that one. Then there was there's a Seinfeld semi-reunion one between Jerry Seinfeld and Jason Alexander, and then the guy who played Newman. And they just all dropped back into those characters like after all these years like it was nothing.
That's awesome.
That was pretty cool. And then there was the Coke commercial that everybody freaked out about.
Oh my goddamn son of a bitch.
Yeah, so if you haven't heard, the deal with the Coke commercial is that it's America the Beautiful is what everybody's singing, but it's being sang in all these different languages. And there's even a gay couple on there that's singing. And English is one of the languages it's sang in, but people basically were freaking out over it, talking about, it's about America, it should be sang in English.
I didn't know gay people had their own language. What did it sound like?
I can't even respond to that. I don't know. I don't even know what to say to that.
I bet it has a lot of lisps in it.
Apparently, that's a word from that language. I don't understand it.
Yes.
Yeah. But one of the things with the commercial or with that song is that people don't realize is that America the Beautiful was written by a British lesbian.
What, dude? Wow.
Yeah. So it's like people are freaking out about like that's an American song. It should be sang in English by Americans, and you shouldn't have these same-sex couples in there, and blah 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 blah. And it's like, you probably should be singing that song, then, guy.
That's great. How wonderful is it? This like, this is America. The American colonies that broke free from British rule, and fuck England. They should speak English. Wait. Fuck.
Or the whole like concept of like America's the melting pot because like all these people from all these other countries have come here. I mean, hell, America is the founders of America were fucking foreigners. Unless they wanted to have it as an America Beautiful and there's only Americans singing, it should be nothing but Indians, like Native Americans singing that song.
That's true.
I had a really good point I was going to make, but when you said British lesbian, I just started thinking about Lara Croft having sex with women. I completely forgot what I was going to say.
All right, this is going to be great. This is what I got for you guys. And it's going to be, hey, British lesbians, what'd you say? Give me some of that blood. You don't need that shit.
I give you some blood pudding. No, but seriously, to back up that point that you were making, one of my favorite things to say to all of these stupid-ass rednecks who are just like, I'm tired of hitting the number one for Spanish on my phone. English is the language of America. Unless you speak Algonquin, motherfucker, you don't have room to talk.
Yeah.
Because this fucking land, if you want to go back, it belongs to the Native Americans. Before that, there were Chinese people here. There were fucking Vikings here. There were tons of people. It doesn't belong to anybody. It belongs to everybody. Whoever the fuck is on it, that's who it belongs to. So, fucking add a number 2 for Russian, add a number 3 for Turkish, add a number 4 for Finnish. I don't give a fuck. I want to have multiple cultures because the world is full of kick-ass ideas and people, and the more of them, the better, and the less fucking stupid-ass, redneck motherfucking Fox News people we have, the better. So, how about this? Press 0 to get to the operator so they can tell you to shut the fuck up. And that's what I tell you. Stop fucking talking to people unless you want to improve your mind and understand that it's not the goddamn 1800s anymore.
It is
Very
pretty
nice.
ridiculous.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
I remember seeing something that Glenn Beck is like, why did they make a commercial to divide us? He had the best logic in the world. He's like, because if you have a problem with it, then you're racist. And he's like, yes, you probably are.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else to say. Like lots of things. Like I don't like when people, because it involves somebody from some race besides white, they automatically say it's racist. Like it's like.
People from other races can be racist too. I mean, I've known plenty
on top
of
of
people
that too,
who are racist as shit towards.
And that brings me to the
people.
thing I hate the worst about that. Here are 2 words that is so infuriating to me. Reverse racism. Reverse racism is supposed to be when you're racist against a white person, which would make you think that, like, well, then that means racism. If that's true, then racism means only white people could be racist, first of all. But second of all, that's not what that means. The reverse is like the opposite of it. It's like if instead of going forwards, you're going backwards. So if it was reverse racism, that means you love the other race.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, that black guy is so fucking awesome. Holy shit, it's reverse racism. You love that guy.
You know
Look
what?
at that
Black
Mexican.
people are amazing with their huge dicks and everything. And there's interesting haircuts. I just love black people. That's what reverse racism would be.
That's what reverse racism is.
Man, I just got to say this. You mentioned Glenn Beck. I'm going to throw this also into the mix. Alex Jones and Glenn Beck, you know how they're crazy? Because they fucking cry all the time when they're talking. I can't believe it. If you're crying while you're trying to talk, that means that the logic has shut off. The logic is gone. It's all emotion. You're a fucking human Lifetime channel at that point.
Oh, no, not Lifetime.
Let me say this about those people like that, like Alex Jones, Glenn Beck, Sean Hannity, Bill O'Reilly. Okay. For the most part, Glenn Beck, Sean Hannity, Bill O'Reilly, most of those people, I'm not doubting that they're conservative and Republican. I'm doubting the crazy level on them, though. What they're doing is they're marketing to crazy because they know that's where the money's at. And you can see as time's gone on, they've slowly started to shift away from it because people like Glenn Beck lost his TV show because they just wasn't bringing in the ratings and no one was going to give him money. No advertisers want to be attached to it. So he's still crazy, but he scaled back a bit. Alex Jones, though, legitimately fucking nuts. Alex Jones, I'm pretty sure, really does think that, like, there are lizard people that run this country. I mean, like,
the Black Hawk helicopters are circling around, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I'll never forget watching the interview where he went on to talk to Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan's a British guy. He's screaming in his face how 1776 is going to happen again. Just screaming at this man. And Piers Morgan's an asshole, don't get me wrong. I don't like him. But I was like, I had respect for him because he did not flip out on Alex Jones at any point. He was like, Alex, I'm trying to ask you questions and be serious here. 1776, Pierce, it's going to happen again.
You've got to take my rifles.
Yeah, literally. Alex Jones, fucking crazy. The other
Let me
guys,
say this.
just conservatives who are making money based off of idiots.
If for nothing else, I will always love Bill O'Reilly for one thing and one thing alone. When he was on Entertainment Tonight and they caught him flipping out, we'll do it live! Fuck it! Okay, we'll do it live! That fucking thing sucks! That's one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen. Because when you see somebody get legitimately angry and frustrated and they just turn stupid, oh, that is comedy gold! Because you know they're just so angry that their brains don't work anymore. And when you just see him, he's checking his wrist for an imaginary watch, and he realizes how stupid he looks when he's doing it. Oh my God. If you haven't seen that video, please go look it up and just die.
Do it live.
Fuck it! And his hair like flaps in the wind like Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse. Fuck it!
I've explained this to you before, Evan. He looks and he's so upset is because he's on the way to a charity dinner where he's going to help the homeless and feed children. And he's like, I don't have time for this. Fuck it. We'll do it live. I'll do it myself. Just like I cover all these wars with this pen right here. And I crawl through the streets dragging babies behind me. It sounds terrible, I know, but I was saving them from the fucking lions. The lions released by the liberals. Liberal lions. And they're lying. That's why I called them that.
They're lying! Lying! God.
Oh my God.
How amazing would it be if Bill O'Reilly got caught like at home and he was like listening to an old episode of like Air America with like Mark Maron and they call him, it's like To Catch a Predator, but it'd be like To Catch a Hidden Liberal, and he's like fucking he's looking at naked pictures of Janine Garofalo and just just gotcha! Huh! What the fuck are you doing in my house? You're a liberal. You can't use that on us anymore. I see Janine Garofalo's glasses on your fucking laptop.
Oh my God.
For the record, I don't know if there are Janine Garofalo nude pics, but I'd like to see them.
I doubt it. She doesn't look like the kind of person that would do nude pics. She's not from that era of doing them either. Like, that's, I think, more of a modern thing where it's like you just bank on like these celebrity young women who at some point are just going to bottom out. You're like, I'm going to see her fucking naked at some point. No big deal. You know, it's eventually going to happen. She's not going to have anything else going for her, so she, you know, Playboy's going to contact her, and you know, she'll be in Playboy. Or maybe, you know, maybe she'll be so down and out, Hustler will contact her and she'll be in Hustler. Either way. You know, you just bank on that.
That sounds very bad. It's like, well, right now she's doing great, and he says, but I can only hope her life goes to shit so I can see her naked. I mean, if we're really lucky, then somebody will just be porking her, and I can just see pictures of that right on Hustler. You know, maybe she'll have like a glass bottle up her ass or something. That'll be great. Are you the guy from like Requiem from a Dream?
Oh my God.
Ass to ass.
Ass to ass. Now, speaking of ass to ass and naked people, Valentine's Day is next weekend. And I'd just like to see what everybody's going to be doing. Because recently I found this amazing game called Monster Girl Quest 2.
What?
And let me tell you, it's one of the greatest things ever. Because it's like a role-playing game. You go to different villages and forests and mountaintops. But the enemies are monster women who are trying to make you inseminate them. That is their way of defeating you in combat.
Doesn't really sound like an enemy.
Dude, it's one of the greatest things ever.
I feel like Evan loses a lot of fights in that game.
I always lose because you save first and then you lose on purpose. Because then you get the bonus scene where you get to see the sex happen. And you get to see all of their attacks. And you get to collect a picture of them in your Monstropedia. And to me, this is the greatest way to spend Valentine's Day as a single man ever. It's like, oh, look, it's the Jelly Women. I can't wait to have sex with them. Oh, my goodness. It's the fairy princess of the woodlands. Come over here and fight me with my sword. And on top of that, I would also like to note that as soon as I am finished having sex with all these monster women in my imaginary fantasy world on my couch, I'm going to watch The Lake House with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock and probably cry because it's the most romantic movie I've ever seen.
I've never even heard of that movie.
Dude, it's so fucking great. I mean, everybody has one really cheesy romance movie that they love, and mine is The Lake House. It's like they're both existing in the same house in different universes, and they're writing letters back and forth to each other. It's fucking beautiful, man.
What's your cheesy romantic movie that you love, Shane?
Dominion Tank, please.
Damn it! Erectocaki, the ultimate. We both went to the same joke.
The ultimate deterrent. Oh, man. Mine's Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, my God. You guys are just too cool to show your feelings.
I mean,
that's okay.
I can't think of any. Like, I don't really.
Either.
I mean, I've never seen those movies. But
Dude, When Harry Met Sally is a legitimate great film.
No,
Billy Crystal. That's a cheesy love movie.
What's that one? I was gonna say that one with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, but they were in like 4 of those together.
Sleepless in Seattle?
No, there's another one. The one that was about AOL. It was like a giant AOL advertisement.
You Got Mail.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
I remember that one. I remember seeing it in the theater when I was like, I guess in high school? I don't remember. I went with like somebody to see that. It wasn't bad, but there's none of those movies where it's like, I'm going to sit down and watch this. It's like I watched it like, oh, okay, fair enough.
I'll probably watch the entire second season of Oh My Goddess again because I can sit down and watch that movie and I get the fucking tingles because it's such an emotional series. You know I just talked about having sex with fairy princesses, but believe it or not, I do have a heart. I am a very romantic man. And when I watch that series, it affects me emotionally because it is so well written. It's romance to the T. And it's written by a dude, which is so funny because you would think a cheesy romantic anime would be written by women. No.
Okay, then, here you go. I got a question.
All
we
right.
haven't had a question in a while, but this one, I've got it, okay?
Shane still didn't give his movie.
But I
What
don't
now?
have one.
Okay.
So, I want you to name 3 anime women,
Uh-oh.
okay? But you have to tell me. You have to choose only 3. Only 3, Evan. I know you can't fucking follow directions half the times when we do this thing. Only 3.
My God.
Only 3. And you have to tell me which one you're going to marry, which one you're just going to date, and which one you're going to fuck. And that's all you do with it. You don't date and then marry it and then fuck it. No, it's you have one that you fuck, one that you date, and one that you're going to marry. Okay? What are your 3, Evan?
Do you realize the question you've just asked me?
Yeah. I put you in a place, and I want to get an answer.
There's not enough time for me to analyze the data that's going to go into properly answering this question. There is no possible way for me to go into my Rolodex of amazing women invented in anime to say, okay, this one on these criteria alone. Okay, what?
Let's do it like this. I'll name an anime chick, and you tell me, would you date it, would you marry it, or would you fuck it?
I only want to marry Belle Dandy.
Okay,
Well,
that
at least
was
you got one.
That's
She's
the
my
one
one everything.
was
She's
gonna
my
ask.
everything. I am that guy who fucking makes a little happy birthday cake in front of his computer screen in Japan.
You're awesome.
You ever seen that shit?
Yes.
Oh man, the only reason I have any dignity left is because I have not bought a Takaimakura yet. I have not bought a body pillow. That is my sole redeeming factor.
I thought you did have one.
No, I will not step over that line.
I think I tried to get you to buy one several times.
You did.
Like, here you go, Evan.
And no joke, I will look at them longingly. I will wistfully imagine the days of joy running through a mountain field with my body pillow. But you know what? I'll never cross that line.
That's so fantastic.
But anyway, you can. I'll open up the board to some questions. Throw them out there.
Okay, so Belle Dandy, you said
That's his marriage.
Marry and move to the mountains and live with her for the rest of my life and make children and enjoy watching the sunset.
okay. How about Masato from Neon Genesis Evangelion?
She drinks beer. That would not really work as a relationship because I'd always be telling her to brush her teeth. I'm going to have to pass. I'm going to let Shane choose on that one. How do you feel about that one, Shane?
The least amount of interaction would be the fuck, so that would be the one I have to do.
Yeah, that's
That's
probably
not
the way
somebody I
go
want to
too.
associate with, really.
Okay.
I wouldn't have a problem associating with her. Just like she seems like she'd be a freak in bed. That'd be why I'd say fuck.
Yes, she does. I mean, who the fuck? Never mind. Go ahead.
I mean, she's not the kind of person I want to bring home to meet anybody in the family. So I'd be like, oh well,
She is wearing a cross, which makes her look responsible in American society.
that's true.
And she's the most irresponsible person ever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's got some nice jean shorts, though.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of some other female characters that you might know.
God, Evangelion is like a horrible place to pick any person. They're also messed up.
Yeah,
Pick
I mean
one
that's
of
like
the,
I
you
try to
pick
think
one
of
of
the
the
most.
three adults in there. First
Yeah,
of all.
that's what I did. Is I chose one of the adults. I'm like, I don't be like, which one of these kids did you fuck?
Maybe Ritsuko? I mean, she's a doctor. I don't
She's
know.
fucked
She
up
smokes a
too.
lot.
No,
She's
she's fucked
fucking
up.
crazy in the head.
Yeah.
You're out of your mind.
I am out of my mind.
I want nothing to do with her. She wouldn't even nothing.
Can I just have a Ray clone? I'll take a Ray clone.
An older one.
Yeah. I'll take a Ray clone.
That wouldn't that just be Shinji's mom?
I don't want Shinji's mom. I just want a Ray clone. So I can be like, hey, let's go and try and make you learn how to smile. And then she'll look all fucking crazy and evil like she's about to eat me. And I'll be like, well, that's a good start.
I don't know if that's a relationship you'd want to be in. Because, like, you know, say you're busy playing a game instead of paying attention to her on, like, you know, Valentine's Day, like you might. And then the next thing you know, like, you step outside, it's like, those clouds sure look weird. Oh, fuck, she flipped out.
She's gigantic and she's throwing the moon at you.
Hey, but isn't that your girlfriend standing over the fucking planet who doesn't have a snatch?
I just want to say that it was a good idea at the time.
There are now 4 hosts on The Offenders. Evan, my dick, Shane.
I always break this fucking thing when I'm laughing.
Shane has knocked his own headphones out like 3 times already.
Oh man,
Okay, let me drop one on you since you've dropped one on us.
go for it.
Okay. Let me go look at my collection on the wall to my left. Okay.
Okay, go for it.
Have you ever watched Ranma Half?
Very little. I probably won't know who you're talking about.
Shit, never mind. All my stuff's old school. You're better with the new ones. You go ahead.
No, I've heard it. I want to hear which one.
Yeah, go. Shane knows. Ask Shane.
Ukyo.
Mary. She's awesome.
Please
Dependable.
explain why you've chosen Mary to those who might not have seen Ranma Half.
Because of all of them, she's the most stable. I mean, she has her own problem. Like, all the women in there have some kind of problem because that's the part of the series it's supposed to be. But she's actually the most reliable and flips out the least when something goes wrong.
Owns her own restaurant.
Owns her own restaurant.
You will never have to bug her to cook for you.
Exactly. And always willing to help out without trying to, get something for it.
But you would probably have to deal with Tsubasa trying to sneak up into the fucking relationship all the time.
Boot it out the door.
Boot
As
it
hard
out
as
the
I
door.
can.
Fair enough.
Plus,
She
has a ninja working for him, so I'll have a ninja on call.
Hey, I forgot about that.
Exactly. I'll be like, hey, ninja, I need you to do something for me.
What were you
Those
saying,
are all
Kyle?
really good reasons. I was going to say, well, she owns a restaurant, so, I mean, she can cook, so she's already got one of the major roles as a wife down, so
Right there,
that sounds like a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know her. I'd take her for that. Yeah, see, I think I was thinking that, I was trying to think of anime that I know that I've watched and that you've watched, Evan, but I started realizing that there's a big differentiation between what we've watched.
I've got, if I have to choose a fuck, I just read this manga series, which is not an anime, but it's still close enough, and it's called Leona Explosion. And it's about this. Have you read it?
I don't think I've seen it.
Okay, it's made by the same guy who did Saber Marionettes. Everybody knows the Saber Marionette series. Anyway, it's about these three girls who are the daughters of a professional wrestling woman. And just, do you know it?
I think you've talked about this before, so yeah, I know what you're going with, so.
I would choose the middle sister, who is known as Snow Leopard. Yuki Hyo, I think is her name, because she has the most beautifully drawn breasts and nipples I have ever seen. And I have to take a moment to give some props to one of our listeners, Misty, because without Misty's recommendation into this particular mangaka, I would have never known. But as soon as I saw those breasts, my life changed. I said, if there is ever a time, it's like I knew this question was coming. If I ever had the one-off chance, I would go after the middle sister, Yukihyo, because her boobs are just magnificent.
They're amazing. Do you hear how quiet I'm getting when I'm making this point? They're magnificent. they're unbelievably magnificent.
We got it. We got it.
Oh my goodness.
We get the idea. Okay.
It's like the quieter you get, the more serious. Because I was like the opposite of Alex Jones. I didn't get loud and yell. I was just like, believe that.
Just throw some out. Who knows? We might know them.
Oh man.
Go for it, Evan. Just start naming some.
Okay. Oh fuck. Did you watch Bleach, Kyle?
Yeah.
Help me out. The woman who lost her arm but had gigantic titties, who made the big explosive thingy.
I can't remember her name.
Can't remember.
Kuba.
Something Kuba.
I know you're talking about. I can't think of her name
I know who
either,
you're
though.
talking about, but
Shunsaku. No.
that's not her.
Somebody out there's listening to it, and they're going to be like, the name is Bumble, God damn it. Why don't you know it? I'm sorry, I don't know it. I've never watched all of Bleach, but I know those guys watch it a lot.
Yeah, that would be a fuck because she's too crazy to date or marry.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
I'll tell you right now, if you name a character that's fucking legitimately insane, it's going to be fuck. Because I don't want anything long-term to deal with.
All right,
somebody
here
who's-
we go. I'll give you a no-win.
Oh, shit.
Gasai Yuno. Which one? Date, fuck, or marry? You lose no matter what.
I would marry, and this is why. This is why.
Because that's the way you stay safe.
For those people who don't know who Gasai is, she's from Future Diary, and she's so crazy. She basically came to a different reality so she could, after becoming like the god of space and time, so she could save the person that she loved by basically from dying, by killing everybody else. That's really summing that plot up really
It's actually
quick.
worse than that.
It's
but
way
we'll go with
more-
that in case
way
somebody
more
wants to see
ridiculous.
it.
God damn!
But so, this is why I would marry her. I mean, if somebody fucked with me, it's their ass. Straight up. It's their ass. And even if they didn't fuck with me, and I want her to go fuck with them, it's their ass still. I would basically have my own ninja. And if she got too crazy, I just keep putting her in situations where eventually she's going to die. And I just solve the problem.
Now, with that being said, she's a crazy stalker character. I get that. Now, this is something we talked about off air last week, but I want to bring it up to our listeners. Why the fuck do you never see an attractive stalker?
I'm sure it happens.
In real life.
It never happens.
I'm sure it does sometimes.
It never, ever happens. It happened in that movie with Amanda Seyfried. Fucking what? I don't remember what his name, but she was a beautiful girl, and she was stalking Julianne Moore and her husband, and she was lonely. And you know what? Beautiful people never get lonely. Beautiful people don't have to play Monster Girl Quest. Beautiful people leave their house because they're beautiful. Therefore, they can never be stalkers because they already get everything that stalkers are looking for. Now, here's what I'm positing to you, listeners. If you can find one instance of a real life stalker who is attractive, send it in to us. And you know what? Maybe we'll send something to you because I don't think the fucking shit exists. Maybe I'll send you a gift, a treat from my bachelor domicile cave. I will send you a treat because I don't think this shit fucking exists. No, come on, man. Dude, come on. No,
Maybe.
I'll send them something good. Not my box of Blueberry or Count Chocula or Fruit Brute, but I will send them something nice.
You know, it could just be that there are some that are stalkers, but because they're really hot, they succeed, so they stop stalking.
True. Like, there's like, you've been stalking this entire time? Yeah, I kept seeing you around. I thought, who the hell's this hot person? Let's fucking get married.
Exactly. They just succeed. So they're not in the field long enough to be observed, so to speak.
That's what I'm saying. Now, if I had a hot stalker, I would marry her. I wouldn't care.
Yeah, like, exactly. That's what she was. Was a crazy, creepy, hot stalker chick with her knife.
Now, I'm not talking about somebody who works overnight at a grocery store. So don't send me some cute chick listening to her MP3 player putting fucking ragu spaghetti sauce on the shelf. Unless you got proof that she stalked somebody before.
Man, you just said ragu spaghetti sauce so fucking hard. Like, I used to make
Ragu spaghetti sauce!
you just spit all over the damn place saying that word.
That's the first thing that popped into my mind, which is terrible. I could have gone for fucking, what are those, the Squeeze-Its drinks? God, those were good. Remember those?
You said that hard, too. Your S's are just like the sloppiest S's ever. I just imagine, like, whenever you say an S, just spit flying all over the fucking room.
Holy shit!
Yeah. Like Shane's wearing a fucking parka with an umbrella when you say it to protect himself.
It's actually your outfit from Breaking Bad from Dragon Ball. Are you going to be wearing that next year?
Oh, hell no. That damn thing was way too hot. I don't know if I'll go to DragonCon next year.
Not even for one day?
Maybe. I wasn't impressed with DragonCon this last year. I really don't care to go again. It's just too big.
I think I'm going to go one day, probably Saturday. But that being
If I
said,
did, that would be
MomoCon
all
is
I would
coming
do,
up too. We ought to think about MomoCon because that's coming up in May. That might be fun.
Oh, I forgot all about MomoCon.
Yeah, we got a couple months to plan, so it's definitely a possibility. Maybe go up there for one day, like a Saturday or something. That'd be fun.
Yeah, if you out there listening, you're going to go to MomoCon. Let us know. I've never been. You went last year, right?
I've been the last 2 years.
Okay. How does
It's
it
fun.
compare to AWA?
It's much smaller. It's I think it's the Marriott or the Hyatt. I can't remember which one it is, but it's in one of the DragonCon hotels. But it's only one hotel, so it's a familiar surroundings. But they don't have as much stuff there. They do have some question and answers. They have a lot of panels. They have a great What the Fuck video room called Anime Madness or something like that. Mm-hmm. But I got to watch Ricky O, which for those of you who might not know, Ricky O was a live-action movie that was based on a manga. And one of the shots from the old Daily Show was this guy smashing this dude's head with a clap, like Jack style from Mortal Kombat. That's from Ricky O. And it's one of the funniest movies you'll ever see. But I saw the anime of it in this anime room of hell or whatever. And it was crazy because it was like professional wrestling rings and like there were lasers and like this dude was like a fucking psychic a psionic, so he was like catching audience members on fire.
It's out of control.
It's great,
that's
man.
fantastic.
It's totally awesome. But if for that reason alone, it's fun to go to.
So this is what I brought out of all of that. And like I heard like most of this stuff, but like as soon as I heard something that I could make a joke out of, like my brain stopped working on anything else. So I heard that stuff, but I don't recall any of it. But she's like, I don't know if it's the Marriott or the Hyatt. And when I heard Hyatt, I was like, oh, it's Cell Saga. So date, fuck, or marry. But if you're gonna fuck, you better be quick or it'll be necrophilia.
Oh.
But I mean, she's gonna come back to life. I mean, it's all right.
I don't
Maybe she'll
think
come back
that
to life in
counts.
the middle of it.
It's like, oh, this is really weird. This is weird. Okay, I'm good again.
Yeah.
She was a real soft-voiced purple chick, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They would just randomly die and come back to life.
I'd like to hug her and give her a little kiss because she had such a soft, gentle voice.
Yeah, she would
I'm a
probably be a
sucker for
date.
soft
She'd
voices.
probably be like a very sweet person to date. So
I don't think I could handle the death. I would probably turn into Basara from Samurai Showdown.
I mean,
And
but
I
if it's something that happens all the time, you just get used to it.
Or I could just flip out like
Every time?
like 7 times a day.
That would be hilarious.
God, only 7? I mean, she sometimes was dying in the same scene multiple times.
Damn. I wonder if there's a counter for the most number of times that she died in a single episode. I bet that's online somewhere.
I wouldn't doubt if it's in an episode, knowing the way that show was. That show basically made fun of itself and all other anime. That was like the point of it.
Yes.
I mean, the last episode. Did you ever watch the last episode, Evan?
I never saw the last one.
Going
Oh.
way too far.
Yeah, that's what it's called, going way too far. Like the show technically ended at like episode 24 or 25, but then the last episode basically was just like the Excel and Hyatt swap bodies, and they realize how hot they are in the other person's body, and they end up having sex. And then
Whoa.
there's this 21-year-old girl who looks like she's actually like a 10-year-old. Who there's this guy who's been a pedophile who's been it the entire time. They finally meet and they realize that they're perfect for each other. He's like, I can be with her, and she's actually old enough that it's not illegal. And she's like,
Well,
I can be with
he
him.
was no, he didn't know.
No,
It's
I
what it
thought
was.
no, he knew, but when she took off her shirt, she actually had very large breasts, and that's what he didn't like.
What is his problem?
He was a
What
pedophile.
No, hold on. I'm offended.
Every time he showed up, literally, he had like little girls dancing around him. Like he'd be sitting in these dark rooms, and little girls or like school officers were dancing around. It was weird. Excel Saga is
I don't
one of
know
those
if I
ones like, I
wanna watch
watched it,
that.
but I don't know what the fuck it was.
And you know what? This conversation, this is why the 3 of us will not be having any women with us next weekend for Valentine's Day because we're all old men who watch anime all day long. So happy Valentine's Day, everybody from the Offenders. We love you. If you're a woman, please come spend time with us.
Terribly.
That is creepy. All right, I guess-
Unless you're a crazy, ugly stalker. No. But if you're a crazy, hot stalker, you can stalk me
Don't
anytime
act
you want.
like there aren't women out there that don't do the same thing. Let's see, what would that sound like? I don't know.
Twilight.
Let's try that. Is that what it sounds like?
Yes.
Is that what the vagina sound like instead of dicks? Oh, I'm here for the all-you-can-eat sausage.
why does their vagina sound like the bird lady from Kids in the
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's about time to wrap it up. Maybe literally. I don't know, depending on how things go. So if you want to email us, if we said anything that was incorrect and you want to correct us, you can email us at theoffenderspodcast@gmail.com. So until next time, I'm Kyle.
I love you for Valentine's Day.
Still say Devine, thankfully.
We're at the talkie. Y'all have a good one.